Welcome to the Edge of NFT podcast with your hosts, Jeff Kelley, Ethan Janney, and Josh Kriger. We aim to bring you not only the top 1% of what's going on with NFTs today, but what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts and the business side, but also the human element of how NFTs are changing the way we interact with the things that we love. This podcast is for the futurists and dreamers, the disruptors and creators, the fans and connectors, and the makers and doers that are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next. Today's sponsored Spotlight episode features Nikita Nguyen, co-founder and CEO of Niftify, a multi-chain platform that enables anyone to create their own fully functional NFT marketplace in just a few minutes without coding or upfront costs required. The platform is one of, if not the first platform to lower the barrier for everyone to take full ownership of their NFTs. Nikita is a driven and proven technology entrepreneur with comprehensive accomplishments leading global business development and partnership. Nikita is an impact player and proven leader in the IT industry, blockchain, and venture capital. Besides leading Niftify, Nikita has been spending a significant amount of time incubating and accelerating blockchain startups around the world. Nikita, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I'm not sure who wrote it or who said that about me, but that sounds like a lot.
Hey, we try to deliver on your background as authentically as we can. So we're very fortunate to have you here on the show today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And it's been great getting to know you in the space over the last few months and seeing you at all the different events and learning a little bit more about you. For the benefit of our listeners, let's start from the very beginning. What's the origin story of Niftify? How did you decide to take things in this direction?
Yes, so I get these questions a lot, first of all. Um, I've been in the IT industry for my whole career for the last 13 years and started my own blockchain service development company in Vietnam with two other co-founders back in 2016. And we have delivered a lot of blockchain applications for startups all over the world, probably over 100. This couple of years, we started to see a lot of demand in developing NFT marketplace, NFT auction platform, and all things NFTs. So we started to run out of resources. Even though we have over 160 blockchain developers in Hanoi right now. However, we feel like we can't answer all demands in blockchain development. So that's how we came up with an idea of what if we create a platform so that people don't need to do a single line of code anymore, but they will have their NFT marketplace that is totally customizable within minutes. So that is the origin story of how we came up with the idea of Niftify.
It makes a lot of sense, right? We're there. You can't. Companies cannot hire developers fast enough and scale fast enough to deal with all the demand. We're at this amazing point of Web3 convergence where people now understand the power of NFTs, but how do you harness all that power in an easy way? So really exciting what you're doing to contribute to the space.
Yeah, and let's go deeper on that front. Like, let's talk a little bit about what Niftify is more precisely in terms of features and functions. And, for our audience that's unfamiliar, like, what should they expect if they utilize the platform?
Yes, so even though I don't like to say this anymore, but the best way and easiest way for people to understand what Niftify is we are the Shopify of the NFTs, which means we provide a ready to go platform so anyone without any technical knowledge at all can create their own NFT storefront without coding. Just like if you are a um, retail seller, you want to have your own e-commerce storefront, then you go to Shopify or you go to, eBay or some other platforms to do that. And we are that of the NFT space. Even though, Shopify nowadays, they are catching up on the NFT space and they're launching the beta program. So we don't like, I personally don't like to integrate their name into our
Mhm.
branding anymore. But that's I think the best way to describe us.
Right. And again, yeah, it's a great way to do it, and totally understood. But there is something to be said for building something from the ground up with crypto, blockchain, NFTs in mind. There's something special about that. We realize building anything is a challenge. There's roadblocks and there's scaling issues that you run into and all of that. But fundamentally building it with blockchain in mind is it's something special, and those that succeed will ultimately, I think, eclipse the size of the Shopify's in the world.
Yep.
Now, as
Mhm.
far as the tools are concerned, so you have a few things in there. I just wanted to elevate in there. So you have all the basics that I guess people would expect, right? So you can integrate with Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel. You can import NFT collections from other marketplaces. And the transaction fee, I think it was like 2.5%. Is that correct?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So
So
that's,
it's
yeah.
been a journey for us since day one, with a team of over 20 developers for this platform only in Vietnam. We have released consistently, every 2 weeks a few new features, including from the the most basic features, from signing up, how to sign up. I just got feedback from our real users on Twitter almost every day that it takes them from like 10 to 15 minutes to create an NFT storefront and get it ready to go, to launch their
That's
business.
really impressive. We're not
Wow.
talking about creating one NFT. We're talking about creating an entire store for
Yep.
NFTs.
Yes, yes. So that's the most basic features. They just need to create with their own email address, and then they're able to customize. The platform is fully customizable from IP domain, so we don't force users to have to use our domain niftify.network, but they can customize. For example, if I think that is it may be a good idea for you guys to have the Edge of NFT store on us, and
Yeah.
it can be Edge of NFT.io or dot whatever you guys want to name it.
Usually guests wait to after the show to pitch us, but
I love it.
we love co-creating, and we're definitely going to take a look at what you're doing in
Yes,
great.
please. It's completely free. And then
I
you will
love it.
customize the theme. We're trying to increase a lot of different themes, so people will be free in their creativity of how they want their storefront to look like, how they want to display the items, all the collections, bestsellers or anything. And then, yes, like Jeff mentioned, we integrated the platform with some marketing tools because at the end of the day, we charge only 2.5% per every successful transaction. So that means if they don't sell at all, we don't make any money.
So
So, yep.
yeah, that's really cool. What uh, what and clearly you've gone through this customer discovery journey that you've learned over the years of building software to try to figure out what's working, what's not in the space. I think it's an interesting time for you to launch something like this because we have this whole year of data around what people have experienced, and I think it's really interesting. So the question on my mind, of course, which is a question we've asked when we're looking at different solutions for Edge of NFT, is like, what about the multi-chain support? Like, what are the features around that? How do you help users decide what chains or a combination of chains to use for their projects?
Sure. So currently we are supporting three chains: Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance Smart Chain. And of course, integrating with other chains, including, for example, like Terra, Cosmos, Harmony and some other chains that willing to partner with us is also in our development plan. Um, we are letting our own users to make their own choice of which chain they want to use, instead of forcing them to use some specific ones like some other platforms. And one of the most important factors in this, I think, is the transaction fees, the gas fees on the chain. And so far, I think that a lot of our users have chosen Polygon and Binance Smart Chain to launch their own store. And we don't limit the number of stores that they can launch and which chain they launch on under one account. So that's totally up to our
and just
users.
that's really cool. Just a clarifying question there. Have folks asked you to launch on multiple chains, or is that capability something that matters to you? Is it more focused? You pick a chain and then people can move their NFTs from to another chain if they want. What's been your experience with what that should look like, and what's that functionality today?
Yes, so right now, even though once you create a store on, for example, Ethereum, and then you want your NFTs also on some other chains, you will still have to create another store on that another chain. However, we have received that kind of feedback from our real users, from our 6,000 users right now, that uh, if they could bridge their NFTs from one chain to another, just like you bridge any other ERC20 token right now, because technically is the same thing, is very feasible. So we are already working on that feature to create a bridge for people to just bridge their NFTs from one chain to another.
You guys are on it. I love the agile development process you're taking.
Yes, we do have our backbone development roadmap for sure, because we still want to keep the focus of making this platform a very low barrier entry for anyone without any technical expertise, um, and money at all, to try NFT and build their own NFT business. So that's still our main focus. But to make it um, successful for more and more people, we are very flexible, like you said, on adding more features, as well as listening to our users to see how they think of the current features, as well as what if we have some new features, how that will help them in their business.
Gosh, so many ways, right? We talk about this all the time, that when the internet really like took hold, and websites, first started forming, you had to kind of get a consultant to help you build the website, and you had to, not everybody had one. I mean, plenty of businesses that didn't have one, right? And people would look at you like you're a crazy person if you didn't have a website and you had a customer facing or a business facing operation these days, right? Like
Exactly.
100%.
Yep.
And it's amazing that even though NFTs have been around here a few years, but really with it coming into the public consciousness in a big way over the last year, how quickly we're at a spot where brands, public personalities, companies really should have some kind of NFT strategy if they were being really smart about how to think proactively about their roadmap. And this kind of tool overall seems like it's a no-brainer for so many people to launch even a basic presence in the world of NFTs. So that's really cool. You mentioned it, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper on understanding how, when somebody does come in to build their marketplace, how they can craft it and how they can really make it their own. I would love to know more about those features. So like you mentioned, like backgrounds and other things, like what should folks expect when they go in there to really put their stamp, their unique brand and vision behind the design.
Yes, so just from the look of the front page, for example, when you go ahead and create NFT, Azure NFT marketplace, you use your email address first of all to register an account with us, and then it will take you to a setting page where you can customize from the header, either if you want to use your logo, whatever logo that you want to use, or your slogan, or a sentence that you want your visitors, your buyers, your collaborators to read. And then the body you can organize in different categories, different collections. For example, you are in um, sports, and there are so many different sports. You can have basketball, you can have baseball, soccer, football, and then in those different categories you have different NFTs, right? And then you can um, organize, sort it in best collection, newest collection, best sellers, things like that. And then footer, you customize your contact address, information. So that's just the front page. And then you'll be able to customize your theme too. There are different available themes that you can use, and in the future we will have more and more APIs so that you have more options in designing your own store. So if there are even like a million users out there, they will have a million different looks.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, if you go, to check it out, for our listeners, you can poke around some of the other stores that are on there and really see how robust it is, right? So there's a simplicity, to it that can help you get up and running very quickly. But there's a series of options that really allows you to make it your own, and that's the best of both worlds. An easy button
Right.
for
Mhm.
launching your marketplace. That's amazing.
Yes, and that is the most basic features. But besides from that, you're able to customize your own IP domain, right? Azure.nft.io, .com, whatever. And even if you decided one domain, you purchase it, but in the future your business pivot and you want to change it, then you will also be able to change it. Um, and I think one of the coolest customizations that we just released recently is a custom token. So far, I think that we are the platform that allows the most payment methods out there right now. People are able to do transaction in Ethereum, Binance Coin, stable coins, our N1 token. But nowadays, projects are even able to use their own custom token. For example, if one day you guys decided to launch your own token, then you will also be able to integrate your own token as a payment method in your store.
Oh, that's amazing. There could be
That's
something like that in the works. You never know what our roadmap looks like, right?
Yep.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is fun, and it sort of makes me think about other possibilities down the road. In terms of what you got cooking, I'm thinking about like fiat payment integration and sort of the metaverse side of things, and sort of some of the more traditional e-commerce features like discount
Yes.
codes and subscriptions. Can is that on the roadmap as well? Like, how does all that fit in?
Yes. Who told you about all that? I thought to keep it all a secret, but I'm just joking. But yes, all of that you're just talking about are on our roadmap. Um, Again, to make it as easy as possible for anyone to use the platform however they want is our utmost purpose and mission. in building this platform. Even now, when you create an account and create your store, you receive payment in cryptocurrency. So we will still need to connect to a MetaMask account. And even that is simple and familiar, is a simple and familiar process to a lot of crypto users, crypto savvy people. However, it's still something that requires some time to learn, to figure out for non-crypto users. So from just that simple step, we're trying to change, um, together with integration with fiat payment, as well as making the minting process easier, because a lot of people still don't understand what minting an NFT means. And like, okay, I uploaded my content on the platform, but has it been minted yet? How do I know it's minted? And what is minting? What do I need? Do I need to pay any fees? Right now, we have to go through a lot of that kind of questions. And especially, I think for artists, for people who are not blockchain engineers, they have tons of questions like that, and they just want to know. For example, like we have people in the music industry. They ask me, "Do you know of TuneCore?" Right? If you are a musician or you are a composer, you must know of that, because it's a portal that makes the process of uploading a song to a lot of different platforms, including Apple Music, Spotify, and all the other platforms, just so simple. Just upload your song and you're done. The next day, your song is already on all those platforms. So we want to make it that easy for them. So integrating with um, fiat payments, as well as making the minting process, payment process, collaborating with other users, getting your project out there to communities, and all that easier and easier. So yeah.
And what's the physical merchandise side of all this?
For the physical merchandise, we do have some users that are interested. So we do also have requests of having the physical address for buyers when they purchase an NFTs, so that it will become an automatic process for stores that in the future want to tie their NFTs into physical items.
There you
That's
go.
cool. There it is. Yeah. So much good stuff in there. Yeah. Gosh, we're in such need for this. I feel like being down at Art Basel here recently, that there's been an explosion of creativity, in particular around like the realm of digital art and digital creation, as people start to see a path toward monetization for these things. They're spending more time doing it, and that's so amazing. And this is a really critical piece of the infrastructure, what you're building and what you've already built. Kudos. Yeah, sounds like an amazing product, and excited to jump in there and build out our own marketplace. So obviously there's, I mean, thousands of amazing projects out there doing amazing things and really changing the game here for everything and anything in NFTs. I'm wondering, for you, like, what other projects do you look to for inspiration, or people in the space that inspire what you're working on and your roadmap and how you'd like to see things go with Niftify?
Um, right. This is quite a hard question, because it's hard to keep up with so many projects, especially there are new projects popping out almost every day right now. Um, but before coming to this podcast, I was also thinking about that. But this morning, I saw a tweet from Sandy from Polygon. He said something like this. 2 years ago, he said that Polygon is going to be in the top 20 projects. and they are now in the top 20. And he said that one day he will be in the top three, right? So that is ambitions. And as a business owner, I think that to have a goal uh, is a very important thing, because now you know where you're going, and to get there, what you need to do. So I think that is uh, yes, I look up to people and projects like that. Uh,
Well, that's really cool, because we have several folks from Polygon coming on the show in January. So we're gonna dive deeper into what they have cooking. But there's definitely been a lot of buzz about Polygon and what they're building. So you picked a good one there.
Yes, yes, and I think that, but at the end of the day, we on our own, because everyone has a different path, and there's no books or anything out there that tell you that, hey, you just do this and then you'll be successful, or you'll be in the top 10 or top three, whatever um, you set yourself out there. So I think that we need just to have our own policy, as well as to know clearly what we're building, and stick to that.
Well, we're on an amazing path. It's a rocket ship, that's for sure. And yeah, for anybody that hasn't checked it out, you got to get over there and play around. It's amazing. Um, so look, we really appreciate all the background on the company, the product, everything that got you there. But we wanted to take a step back for a minute and get your personal perspective on a couple of things. Let our listeners get to know you a little bit better. It's a segment that we call Edge Quick Hitters, and it's again just a fun, quick way to get to know you. There are 10 questions, and we're
Okay.
looking for just a few words. You can expand if you get the urge, but we like to keep it relatively short. You ready to dive in on these?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Let's do it. Question number one. What is the first thing you remember ever purchasing in your life?
I think it's a watch. It's like the Chinese watch, that get broken every time it gets in the water, and I think it costed around like 50 cents when I was a kid, like 4 years old or so. But it has all the cool looks and colors. So every week I would buy a new one. That's what I remember.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen those. That's neat. Any chance you still have one of those floating around?
I don't know. I haven't seen that. And I think this will be fun for our listeners out there, because I was born and grew up in Vietnam, so our culture will be different. So my answers will also still be something that, oh, what is that for you guys?
Definitely. No, we love that. We love that. That's amazing. All right, well, let's keep rolling then. Question number two. What is the first thing you remember ever selling in your life?
Selling. So that is a cockfighter. I got it when it was tiny, still a baby, I think a few day old. I got it from my grandparents. And then one of my brothers, they enjoy that. They do cockfighting. They still do. And I sold that to them. And I still remember that I used that money, half of it, to play video game, Contra.
Hmm.
And then half of the money I used to have 30 minutes of karaoke.
Now that's quite a combination of things. Definitely a first for this show.
Yes.
Question number three. What is the most recent thing you purchased?
That is two canvas that I bought for the dining room and the living room.
Oh, some
Nice.
art, some art.
Yes, some
What
art.
what style of art?
It's about cities. It's about places that uh, that I've been to or I've lived in. I was born in Vietnam, so I wanted to have something about my country. So I bought a very warm and cozy painting about a girl in the traditional outside, the costume, the white one with the cone head on a boat with a lot of lanterns on a river. So that is in my dining room. And the other one is about LA because I live in LA now. All the palm trees and building and mountains and all that. So that is in my living room.
The
Nice.
two sides of your world and your identity. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Question number 4. What is the most recent thing you sold?
Most recent thing. That is a macrame wall hanging art that I made during COVID. That is one of my therapies when I have some free time. I learn how to do it, and I just, got so into it, and I made a lot of it that I just realized that I don't want all that, and I look like a um, I don't know. My house looks like something that that's not really my style.
Okay.
So I put it out there, and people bought it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this was a physical. This is physical.
This is physical. Yes,
Is-
I bought one. I sold one of those for $250.
Wow.
That was
That's
fun. But then,
awesome.
and then I gave back $50 for the guy because just feel like, hey, dude, this is what I made just out of fun, and money is not a thing for me. So,
That's cool. Is there a digital equivalent floating around out there?
well, if you think that you can help me sell it, and then sure,
Hey, you
we can
got the
split the profit.
you got one platform, we got another. I think it might be a match made in heaven. Very cool.
True, true, yes.
Okay, well, let's move on then to question number 5. What is your most prized possession?
I think that is trust.
Hmm.
Um, it's not a physical thing, but as I have been doing business globally, before Vietnam, I moved to Japan and I lived in Japan for almost 10 years doing business with a lot of big companies. Throughout those years, what I learned, and also from how my parents raised me, to be a person that every single word that you put out there, people listen to you and trust you because you deliver that, or at least you try to deliver that. So I think that a friend told me about that the other day, that now you are so successful because now you have trust among people. Um, and I just thought about that and like, yes, you're right. Like I feel like that is really um, my value.
That's awesome.
That I
That's a
do.
that's a great one. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Question number 6. If you could buy anything in the world, digital, physical, service, and experience that's currently for sale, what would that be?
I think it would. I was thinking about two different things. I've been always scared of the ocean, even though I love just, calm ocean, being just swimming very close to the shore. I love that. However, I am very scared of the feeling of being deep under the water. So if I could just be so still and calm under the water, I would love to know how that feels. So that's experience number one. Number two, also an experience. I want to know what is an utmost happily feels like.
Could you repeat that one more time, please?
What is an utmost happiness feeling feels
Ah,
like.
yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think Navy SEAL training can get you number one. And you're in LA. Coronado's not too far. You can go check that out. And number two, I don't know. That remains to be seen. Much more personal question.
Okay, I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 million NFT stores on your Niftify platform. That could be create such a. I mean, at that point, you're shaping millions and millions of lives, right?
Yes, I think so. I think that again, setting goals and then achieving goals is a great way to provide you that feeling, the happiness, for sure. Yes, and we do have those kind of goals for 2022.
There we go. Let's go. Question number 7. If you could pass on one of your personality traits to the next generation, what would that be?
Go for it. I think I still remember as a kid, I was born in a village in Vietnam, and I went to a village school with normal friends around me who I grew up with. But then one day I saw my cousin, who is a very smart kid, and he went to a gifted school. And he seemed to be a very smart and different kid to me. So I told my parents that, hey, I want to go to his school because I want to be like him. Um, so I just said that, and my parents helped me with that. But it's been like that my whole life with my choice of a high school where wanted to go, a college after that, and then after college, I just told my parents that, hey, so um, I learned Japanese at college, and I want to use my Japanese in my future job, and I just admire and love the country, so I want to live there. So bye. And yeah, so that's been my life. And okay, let's. I don't know what to do next, so I'm gonna create a company, and then I figure out how to make it successful later. So just go for it.
Just go for it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the flip side then. Question 8. If you could eliminate one of your personality traits from the next generation, what would that be?
I don't know the answer for this one because one of my um, how do you call it, ways of living is try to become a better person every day. So even though I know and I'm conscious of a lot of personalities, a lot of sides in me that I'm not really a fan of, for example, sometimes I get mad at something that, later on when I look back, I'm like, oh, it's not really worth being angry or spending times that I don't feel peaceful or happy with. Um, then, I have sides like that about me, but I think that um, I try to be a better person every day. So even those, I have bad traits or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But hopefully tomorrow I'll be better at it.
Right on. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. We
Yeah.
get it. Okay, a little easier then. Question number 9. What did you do just before joining us on the podcast?
Catching up with my team in Vietnam. Around this time is late morning in Vietnam, late night in
Hmm,
Vietnam. So, I tried to see what was going on in Vietnam and Japan while I was sleeping last night, and then try to talk directly with some of the team members while they still awake.
right on.
Yeah.
How big is that team, by the way?
We have 160 members in Hanoi right now. Yep.
Wow, amazing. Okay, moving to the last question. Question 10. What are you going to do next after the podcast?
Well, I'm planning to go to a testing uh, booth at the farmers market to make sure that I got the COVID out of my system.
Well,
That's
there
it.
you go. important step to take. I'm glad you're feeling better and on the up and up here. That was Edge Quick Hitters. Thanks so much for playing along with us on that. I thought it was great to get to know you a little better. And we really, it's just been amazing to have you on, and we want our audience to know how to follow you and everything you're working on that's so amazing. Like, where should we direct them?
Yes, our website is Niftify, NFTify.network. We on all social media channels, Twitter, Telegram, Instagram. I am also on Twitter. Not very active. Trying to be more, but you can just find us. Just type in NFTify. We call it Niftify.network. You'll find us.
Beautiful. And I think from our earlier discussion, we may have a fun giveaway for our listeners as well. Nikita, do you want to give a little background on what you have in store?
Yes, so we just created our own mascot, which is Ninawa. It's a fish, a unicorn fish. You can read about the story on our website, and we made it an NFT. And we have our own Ninawa NFT store, powered by Niftify, of course. So yes, we are giving away 50 Ninawa for our listeners on this podcast.
That's so cool. Appreciate it so much. And so for the folks listening, just check out our socials. You'll hear all about it there, all the steps you need to take to have the chance to win. So thank you so much for the generous offering.
Is there anything fun about these NFTs that folks should know about besides just the concept? Sounds really amazing.
Yes, for sure. We are trying to create utility for the NFTs so that it will create more value for holders. The first one that you will benefit from is a free 1 month subscription from using Niftify platform in the future once our subscription plans are rolled out early next year. And the rest remain secret for you to find out. We are creating more and more utility for the future.
That sounds pretty exciting.
So get pumped about that, folks, for sure. Okay, well, I think we have reached the outer limit at the edge of NFTs for today. So thanks for exploring with us. We've got space for more adventures on this starship. So invite your friends and recruit some cool strangers that will make this journey all so much better. How? Go to iTunes right now, rate us, say something awesome, then go to edgeofnft.com to dive further down the rabbit hole. And remember, we always invite you to co-create and build with us at Edge of NFT. We're unlocking a whole new way to connect and collaborate with us through our own NFT drops, Spirit Seeds, leading to the Living Tree NFTs, which will light the way to our event, NFT LA, a one-of-a-kind, immersive, unforgettable experience at LA Live in Los Angeles. Check it out at nftla.live and move quick on early bird tickets as they are live now and moving quickly. Lastly, be sure to tune in next time for more great NFT content. Thanks again for sharing this time with us today.